Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Killteam Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Savannah Line Games in Pooler, Georgia, where I'm about to play a 150-point Commander Kill Team match between my Genestealer Cult and Jason's Blood Angels. So the story that we've got going on here is the Blood Angels have been trying to purge this planet of the xenos uprising that has been occurring here, and they've been prosecuting their battles. And a force of the Blood Angels found themselves hunkered down in a neighborhood, and when up out of the gutters rose a force of Genestealer cultists, being led by a mysterious figure wielding 3 weapons, the Kelermorph, rising up and trying to take out this Blood Angel force. To send a message back to the Blood Angels that they are not to be messed with. That is the story that we've got going on here. We are going to be playing the match play mission Conquest that came with the Kelermorph kill team kit. So what happens is there's 2 objectives, 1 in each of our deployment zones, and these are worth 1 point if you hold at the end of the game your objective, and 2 points if you hold your opponent's objective. So it should be kind of interesting to go along with that, and we'll see how it all goes. But yeah, so that's the story that we've got going on here. That's the mission. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the 2 kill teams that are going to be fighting it out. So for the Genestealer Cult, from left to right, my commander will be a Kelermorph. My leader is a neophyte leader. I then have a combat specialist aberrant with a power pick. I've got a zealot specialist aberrant with a power pick, and I've got a neophyte gunner with a mining laser, who is going to be my heavy specialist. I then have 4 neophyte hybrids, an acolyte fighter with a heavy rock saw, and 6 acolyte hybrids. And for the Blood Angels, from left to right here, we have his commander, who is a Primaris Lieutenant with a Stalker Pattern bolt rifle. We then have a Tactical Marine Sergeant with a power sword and plasma pistol, who will be his leader. We have a Scout Gunner, who will have a heavy bolter and his demos expert. We then have a Tactical Marine Gunner with a heavy bolter. He will be his sniper specialist. We have a comms specialist, who is going to be a Tactical Marine Gunner with a plasma gun. We then have 3 more scouts with bolt guns and a Tactical Marine with bolt gun. All right, so those are the 2 kill teams going over deployment. I've got my heavy gunner up here, along with 2 other neophytes there. I've got my leader down inside here on the objective. I then have my acolyte fighter over on the side here, a neophyte, 2 acolyte hybrids. I then have my zealot specialist. I've got my combat specialist. I've got my Kelermorph in the middle there, and then a whole bunch of acolyte hybrids around them. Going over deployment now for the Blood Angels. He's got his Primaris Lieutenant up over here. We've got his gunner with the heavy bolter over here. We've got the other gunner with the heavy bolter up on top here. Gunner with the plasma over here. And then around the corner here, we've got everybody else on the objective there trying to get it ready to lay down a withering field of fire to try to take back, try to hold back the xenos swarm that is coming at them. So that is deployment. We are going to come back with the initiative phase in a second, because I'm going to go through and do my cult ambush moves first. So we'll come back to you after that. All right, so cult ambush, he stood still. All of these guys over here stood still. He moved up over here. He moved up over here. My Kelermorph jumped up over here. These 2 acolytes moved up over here. This acolyte moved up over here. And these guys didn't even try. They just wanted to stay where they were. So that's going to be it for the Genestealer Cult ambush. So now we will roll for initiative here for turn 1. 2d6. I rolled a 3. My opponent rolled a 5. So my opponent will have initiative. So we'll come back to you after a movement phase for the Blood Angels here on turn 1. All right, Blood Angel movement. Everybody's ready and getting ready to shoot at my Genestealer Cult. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Genestealer Cult. All right, movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here on turn 1. Both of these guys advanced over this way. These guys all readied. He's just sticking down there. He's not going to be able to see anybody. He readied. He readied. Kelermorph readied. These guys all advanced up this way. He advanced over here. And then these 2 and him are going to be charging. So we're going to start with him charging into the 2 scouts in the front over here. So their Overwatch. We'll just do it all together since they're going to have it doing it. Hitting on 6s. Nope, no hits there. So his charge distance, 6 inches should get him in. And then the guy in the front there is going to charge into them as well. He needs a 9-inch charge. Does not get it. And then this guy is going to charge in as well, needing a 10-inch charge to get in. Ooh, and he's in. All right, so starting off the shooting phase, my opponent's going to spend 1 CP to activate the aura for the lieutenant here, which will give him, which gives any model within 6 inches of him the ability to re-roll wound rolls of 1. Or is it 1 wound rolls of 1?
Yeah,
of wound rolls of 1 for the phase here. Then his comm specialist gave the +1 to his gunner here, who is going to have his demolitions gunner here, who is going to now roll. He's going to spend another CP for Hellfire rounds for him to shoot into my Kelermorph here. So he's going to roll 1 dice. So far he spent 2 CP. He's going to spend so he's going to roll 1 die for his hits. If it hits, it does D3 mortal wounds onto him over here. So hitting on a 3 because it's +1 from comms, -1 because he's obscured. No hit there. My opponent's going to spend his CP to re-roll that into a 4, so that's a hit. So D3 mortal wounds. He's going to do 3 mortal wounds, which brings me down to 1 wound left on him. All right, so now I'm going to activate my Kelermorph to shoot. He's going to put 2 of his 3 pistols shots in, because it's 3 different pistols, so you can shoot all your different weapons one after the other, but he's going to put 2 of them into his heavy gunner up here, with the tactical guy with the bolt gun up here, the heavy bolt gun, and then he's going to put 1 into his tactical gunner with the plasma gun down over here. So he is more than half range away, and he's obscured from each of them. So he's going to have a 2-up ballistic skill. It becomes a 4-up to hit against them. So we're going to go with the top guy there with 2 shots, because I'm just going to shoot both pistols that he can there. Because in Kill Team, as opposed to 40K, his Liberator auto stubs are pistol 1. So these are going to be 2 shots hitting on 4s. Getting no hits. I'm going to spend a command point to reroll one of those. Nope, don't get it. And then the 1 roll shot into the plasma dude. That is a hit. Strength 4, so looking for a 4 to wound. That is a wound. AP -1, so he's going to have a 4-up save. No, goes through, so that's 2 damage. So we'll have the results for his injury results here, and he is out of action. All right, so Lieutenant now is going to activate. He's going to fire his Stalker Pattern bolt rifle into my Kelermorph. So he's going to have 1 shot here. He's within half range, but he's obscured, so it's going to be looking for a 4 to hit. That is a hit. Strength 4, so looking for, I think, a 3 to wound. That is a wound. AP -2. Let me find out his save. All right, so he has a 5-up regular save and then a 5-up invul save. So here we go with the invul save, looking for a 5-up. He's good with a filth phase. Woo! All right, so now my heavy guy up here is going to fire into his which one's he? He's the sniper specialist up over here with the mining laser. So it's 24 inches, so I'm more than half range, and he's obscured. So it's going to be hitting on a 6 with the mining laser here. Nope, don't get it. And now his sniper specialist is going to fire into my Kelermorph, so he's going to have 3 shots here, hitting on 4s because of obscurement. Getting 1 hit. Oh, rerolling 1s because he's a sniper. That was really good. All right, so that's going to be 1 hit. Strength 5, so looking for a 3 to wound. That is a wound. So 5-up invul save. No, goes through. So roll and out. See if he's out of action. Yeah, no, because he's 1 second. Okay, yes, so because he was obscured and within an inch, I get -1 to the roll, which makes that 4-up become a 3-up, which means he takes a flesh wound. So my neophyte here is now going to fire into his sniper specialist up on top there. He's within half range, so it's rapid fire with 2 shots from his autogun. These are going to be hitting on 5s because it's -1 because of obscurement. Nope, no hits. And now his Bolter Marine is going to fire into my Kelermorph up here with his bolt gun. It's going to be 2 shots because he's in rapid fire range, but he's very obscured. So it's going to be -1 to hit, so these are going to be hitting on 4s. Getting 2 hits, strength 4, so 3s to wound. Getting 1 wound. It's going to be a 5-up invul save. He's good with the filth phase. And now my neophyte here is going to fire into his demolitions expert over here. These are going to be, it's going to be -1 to hit because of obscurement, but he's within half range, so it's 2 shots hitting on 5s. Getting 1 hit, looking for a 5 to wound. No wound. All right, so the neophytes up here now are going to be shooting because his other guys back over there can't see anybody. So we're going to go with one at a time. They're both going to go, or the first one at least is going to go into the top guy up here. It's going to be hitting on a 6 because he's obscured in more than half range. Nope, no hit there. And then the other one's going to do the same thing. No hit. All right, so that's it for the shooting phase. Into the fight phase, my guy on the left there is going to attack into his dude bro up there. So it's going to be 2 attacks with the rending claws. These are going to be hitting on 3s. Getting 1 hit. Strength 4, toughness 4, so looking for a 4 to wound. That is a wound with a 6, which makes it AP minus 4. So that's just going to go straight through. So let's see if he is knocked out of combat. He is not. He takes a flesh wound. All right, I'm going to spend my second CP for the round here on to reroll that injury roll into a 5, and he is out of action. And now my other guy is going to attack into his scout there, his other scout there. So 2 attacks with the rending claw, hitting on 3s. That is 2 hits, wounding on 4s. Getting 1 wound, AP minus 1. So 1 5-up save. No, goes through. So it's going to be injury out of action, or injury roll. That's the word I'm looking for. No, and he takes a flesh wound. And now his scout's going to attack back over here. So hitting on a 3, that's a hit. Wounding on a 4, wounding on a 3. No wound there. All right, so that is it for turn 1 here. At the end of the turn, we do have 1 morale thing to take. He has a flesh wound here, so he has to take a nerve test. He has 2 guys out of action, so 2 plus 5 is 6, 7. He is good to go. And I guess he has the other guys around him. I didn't even think about that, but he was going to be good to go. So nobody is nervous. So that is the end of turn 1 here. So now we will roll off to see who has the initiative going into turn 2. Ooh, my opponent gets a 7. I get a 5. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Blood Angels. All right, so Blood Angel movement phase. These 2 guys readied. So did his sniper specialist on the top here. This scout moved up into the building over here. This tactical gunner, tactical marine moved around over here. He stayed in combat, and now his sergeant, his leader, is going to charge into combat into these 2 guys. So I will shoot my auto pistol from the one guy who's not engaged over there. So this is going to be hitting on a 6. That does with a fill face, looking for a 5 to wound. That does wound with a fill face. So this is going to be a 3-up armor save. He's good. So his charge distance is in. All right, movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here. These guys all readied themselves. These 2 guys readied themselves. My Kelermorph dropped down over here with a movement phase. These 4 guys actually all advanced up over this way. This guy over here advanced. They are staying in combat. And then we're going to have the charges. So he's going to charge, and he is going to charge. So we're going to start with my combat specialist charging into his scout and his tactical marine. So his tactical marine is going to fire Overwatch here. 2 shots hitting on 6s. Nope, no hits there. So I need a 9-inch charge to make it in. And I make it in with the double fill face. Yeah, and this guy over here is going to charge into his scout, firing Overwatch on 6s. Nope, no hits there. His charge distance is in. All right, starting off the shooting phase now. His sniper guy is going to shoot into my dude bro down over here. He is going to at first activate his aura, so rerolling 1s to wound. Yep. So here we go. He is going to fire into him 3 shots, hitting on. Is he obscured? No, I don't think he's obscured from there. So he's just going to have hitting on 3s. All right, so getting rerolling 1s because of sniper. So that's all 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. That is all wounds. So AP minus 1. So it's going to be 6-up saves. I'm going to do 2 at a time because I forgot my other dice over there. No, he is going to be wounded. So here we go. Out of action. No, it takes a flesh wound. All right, so now my neophyte here is going to fire into his demolitions expert. So it's going to be 2 shots because he's in rapid fire range, hitting on 5s because he is obscured. Getting 2 hits. These are going to be wounding on 5s as well. Getting no wounds. That's up to a 5. Does not help me. All right, so now the demolitions expert is going to fire into my rock grind over here. 3 shots hitting on 3s. That is going to be 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. Getting 1 wound, AP minus 1, 6-up save. Showing that fill face. Yeah, with the fill face. Woo! All right, so now my mining laser guy is going to shoot into his sniper over there, hitting on a 6 because of range and obscurement. Nope, no hit. Now the lieutenant's going to fire into my rock grinder over here. That is a hit. That is not a wound. And my guy down here is going to fire into his into his demolitions expert over here. So he's going to have 2 shots hitting on 5s because he is obscured. Getting 1 hit, wounding on a 5. That is a wound. 4 up armor save. No, goes through. Injury roll. And he is out of action. And now these 2 neophytes are going to fire into the sniper specialist, hitting on a 6. Not on the first one. Not on the second one. All right, that's it for the shooting phase. Into the fight phase, his lieutenant is going to attack into my neophytes, or my acolytes over here. So he's going to put 1 into each. So we'll go on the one on the left or the right first? Left, my left first. So it's going to have 1 attack here, hitting on a 3. That is a hit. Wounding on a 6 is definitely going to be a wound. That's going to go straight through his armor. So here goes his injury roll. On a 6, he is out of action. And now the other attack into the other guy here. That is a hit. That is a wound. Injury roll. Out of action. All right, so now my combat specialist that charged over here, he's going to put 2 attacks into the tactical marine, 1 attack into the scout there. So we're going to have 2 attacks into the tactical marine, hitting on 3s. That is going to be 1 hit. Wounding on a 3, strength 5, toughness 4. That is a wound. AP -2, so 5 up save. No, goes through. D3 damage. It's going to be 2 damage, so that's it's going to be enough to get him down to an injury roll. So 2 injury rolls here. With that 4, he is out of action. And then the 1 attack into the scout there. That is not a hit. I'm going to spend a command point to reroll that. Into a hit. That is not a wound though. And then my acolyte who charged is going to attack into him here. 2 attacks hitting on 3s. That is 1 hit. Wounding on a 4. That is not a wound. And now his scout's going to attack in here. Even though he's got the flesh wound, he's got transhuman physiology, so he does not have to worry about the -1 here. So he's going to have 1 attack hitting on a 3. That is a hit. Wounding on a 4. No wound. And then the scout up here, 1 attack. That is a hit. Wound on a 4. That is a wound. Looking for a 5 up save. No, goes through. So here comes his injury roll. And he is out of action. All right, so that is it for the turn 2 here. So we're going to go now into the morale phase at the end of it, morale phase. So he's got 1 guy who has to take a nerve test over here. So 4 guys are out of action. So 4 plus 6 is shaken. So he is shaken. Then I've got my Kelermorph back here. So I've got 3 guys out of action. Plus 1 is good to go. And this guy over there, 3 guys out of action. Plus 3 is 6, and he is also good to go. So now that's the end of turn 2. So we will roll to see who will have the initiative going into turn 3. I rolled a 7. My opponent rolls an 8. So we will come back to you after a movement phase for the Blood Angels.
Charge.
All right, movement phase for the Blood Angels. This guy up here readied himself, and everyone else is going to charge except for the guy who's going to stay in combat. So we're going to start with the leader, who's going to charge into my combat specialist, and he is in. The scout up here is going to charge into my dude bro there. So pistol, not a hit. So his charge distance, 6 inches should get him in. And now his Primaris Lieutenant here is going to charge into both of these guys down here. So I'm going to roll Overwatch here, looking for 6s. Getting neither. So he's going to have an 8-inch charge to get in here. 6 inches will get him into there. Rolling a 5. So he doesn't get in. Would you like to spend a C? Well, you have to roll both dice because you have to reroll the roll in this. Oh, that'll definitely get him in. All right, moving phase for the Genestealer Cult here. These guys all readied themselves. These 2 guys readied themselves. My Kelermorph moved up over to here. Everyone that's in combat has to stay in combat because they got charged. So now we're going to have some other charges of our own. So my Zealot over here is going to charge into his Lieutenant. He is in. And then this guy is going to charge into his Lieutenant. That is also in. All right, so now his sniper specialist here is going to start us off in the shooting phase by shooting into my Kelermorph. He's going to use the Hellfire round. So 1 shot hitting on a 4. Because of obscurement, no hit. Going to spend the command point to reroll that. Ooh, not into a 3. All right, so we're going to start off with me. This neophyte shooting into him within 12 inches. So it's going to be 2 shots hitting on 5s because he's obscured. Getting 2 hits, wounding on 5s as well. Getting 1 wound, 1 3-up save. Ooh, goes through. Is he out of action? Nope, takes a flesh wound. All right, so now this guy is going to fire into him. 1 shot hitting on a 6. That is a hit. That is a wound. 3-up save. He's good. And then these two guys are going to do the same thing. No hit for the first one. No hit for the second one. And the mining laser finally hitting him. That is a hit. Looking for a 2 to wound, strength 9. That is a wound with a fill face, so it's going to be AP -3, so a 6 up save. No, goes through, so it's D3 damage. That's going to be 1 damage, so is he out of action? +1 because of his the flesh wound there. With a 4 becomes a 5, and then -1 becomes a 4, so he is out of action. All right, now his scout over here was already in combat, so he's going to fire his pistol over there. He's an unreadied guy ready to shoot there. That is a hit. That is not a wound. All right, so into the fight phase, we're going to start with the lieutenant here. He's going to put 1 attack into each of these acolytes and 2 into the guy with the rock saw. So we're going to do 2 into the rock saw first, hitting on 3s. Oh, 2s. So that's going to be 1 hit. That is a wound. That is not a save. So is he out of action? He is. Now the 1 shot into the injured guy. That is a hit. That is not a wound. And then the 1 shot into the uninjured one. That is a hit. That is a wound. That is a save. All right, so now I'm going to activate my zealot. He's going to attack into the lieutenant over here. So he's going to have 3 attacks because he charged. He's going to be hitting on 3s. There's going to be 3 hits, strength 6 now because of him charging and having zealot. These are going to be wounding on 3s. Okay, that's 1 wound. I'm going to spend a command point to reroll one of those. So that's going to be 2 wounds at AP -2. So 2 5-up saves. Fails them both, so 2d3 damage. It's going to be 2 3 damage. All right, so now his leader is going to attack into my aberrant over here. So he's going to have 2 attacks, hitting on 3s, getting 1 hit, wounding on a 4. That is a wound. It's going to go straight through, but I've got a 5-up ignoring wounds because of bestial vigor. Nope, I get it, so I take 1 wound. Sorry, bestial vigor, I got confused with 40K. He doesn't actually have the feel no pain, so, but he still, I didn't pass it, so that was good that I didn't pass it. So now my my acolyte that charged is going to attack. He's got 2 attacks with the rending claws. He's wounded, so he's going to be hitting on 4s. Not getting either, so cultist knife attack is also not going to hit. And then his scout over here that charged is going to attack, so he's going to have 1 attack, hitting on a 3. That's a hit, wounding on a 3, 4, 3. So that's a wound. 5-up save. No, goes through. Oh, flesh wound.
He's shaken.
And then his other scout here is shaken, so now we're going to go into my other attacks here. We're going to go with my combat specialist. He's going to put everything into the sergeant over here, so it's going to be 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. That is 3 hits, wounding on 3s. That is 3 wounds, 3 5-up saves. So that is going to be makes 1, so 2 go through. So there's going to be 2d3 damage. The first, I guess just 1 of them, since that's going to take him out of there. So it's going to be 1 damage. So let's see if he is out of action. 4, he is. So this guy's going to attack in here. 2 attacks hitting on 4s because he's got a flesh wound now. That's 2 hits. That is 1 wound with a 6, makes it a 4-up, makes it AP -4 because it's rending claw. And he is out of action. And over here, my last guy is going to attack in here. 2 attacks. That's 2 hits because he's not wounded. That is 2 wounds. Oh no, 1 wound, but that's AP -4, so it's going to go straight through. So that's just going to be 1 more wound onto him over there. And then the cultist knife is not going to hit. All right, so that's the end of turn 3. At the end of turn 3, my opponent does have to roll to see if he is broken. So he's going to roll 2d6, looking with a leadership of 8 that he's going up against here. And he's good, so he's not broken. We do have 1 nerve test, but he is going to fail that unless you want to spend the CP to auto pass him. You want to do that? It's like 1 or 2 CP to auto pass with him. So he's good over here. I've got a few tests that I do have to take here. So I've got the 1 guy over here. I've lost 4 guys, so 4 plus 3 is 7. He's good to go. I've got my Kelermorph. 4 plus 3 is 7. He's good to go. And this guy over here, 4 plus 2 is 6. He's good to go. So that is going to be it for the turn 3 there. We'll do a turn 4. So let's see who has the initiative. I get a 10. My opponent gets a 4. So we will come back to you with that. All right, movement phase, stayed in combat. They all stayed in combat. Everybody else over here readied themselves, and now this guy is going to charge into his scout. He is in. Blood Angel movement, he had to stay in combat, and he's going to choose to stay in combat over here. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, shooting phase, we've got pistols because these guys stayed in combat. So the Acolyte who's not injured is going to shoot first, hitting on a 4. No hit. And then he's going to shoot back at me into, which one do you want to shoot into?
Actually,
over here.
I think I may shoot over here.
He can't because he got charged. Yeah, so over here, which one would you like to shoot into? Wounded. Injured, the wounded one? All right, into the wounded one on a 3. That's a hit. That is a wound. But that is a save with a filth phase. Woo! And then my injured guy is going to shoot on a 5. No hit there.
I have anybody alive.
All right, so I've got my one guy that charged over here that's going to start us off in the fight phase. 2 attacks into him, hitting on 3s with the claws. That's 2 hits, wounding on 4s. That is 1 wound, AP -1, so a 5-up save. He's good. And the Cultist Knife attack. That is a hit. That is not a wound. And then my Zealot's going to activate. He's got 2 attacks, didn't charge, so he's got 2 attacks, hitting on 3s. That is 2 hits, wounding on 3s. That is 1 wound, AP -2, 5-up save. No, goes through. D3 damage, 2 damage. So that's going to take him out of action, or it's going to take him down to where we roll injury rolls. Since there's 2 weapons, he is out of action. And now his Scout's going to attack into my Combat Specialist over there. That is a hit. That is a wound. That is a save. And now my Combat Specialist is going to attack back. He's going to get 1 hit. That is a wound, AP -2, so that's going to be a 6-up save. He does get 1 6-up save. No, doesn't make it, so let's see, D3 damage. It's going to do 3 damage, so out of action. Yeah, with that 6, he is out of action. And with that, we have a Genestealer Cult victory. That went really one-sided there a lot. I think I managed to get some charges in early, which really reduced his ability to get the shooting off in the shooting phase early on, which allowed me to get other guys into position where I needed them. And then these guys did surprisingly well with shooting, throwing down some like fusillade. They took out a bunch of guys, which is surprising since my neophytes usually just fail me miserably. So they got some good shooting in there. My Kelermorph was okay. I'm sure he could do better given the chance, but he did just get like focused down there early and then put him in a position where he just really couldn't operate at full effectiveness like I needed him to. But yeah, so it was still an awesome time. I had a great time. The markers that I've been using, so the ones for the showing like the little rings to show who they are here, as well as these markers to show like the different actions that they've taken, action markers. They also have, you know, the wounds markers, and then they've got some shaken markers too, which is pretty good. This all comes from the Kill Team kit that you can get from Hammerhead Games. They're all the laser cut on the plastic here, which is really awesome. It's really helpful, especially when you're trying to read off what each of the specialists are and you can't remember it off of hand when you're doing a battle report. It's super helpful, and it's also good to keep it together, especially if you've got a bunch of guys that are the same. So let's say you're running like a Tyrannid team or a Genestealer Cult team where you've got a bunch of Genestealers. It becomes a lot easier to remember who was your combat specialist as opposed to trying to see, oh, who's got the Margle face and who's got like this claw in this position. It becomes a lot easier to remember when you've got a cool little tag there that follows them around, which is really good. So really enjoy them. So check it out. It's at Hammerhead Games. I'll have a link in the description below with a link to where you can find them. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil the Glacial Geek as always. My opponent's been Jason, and until next time, have fun.